Hey guys, it's Chris with SignalVault, and today we're going to talk about a variant of a very common catfish or sweetheart scam that unfortunately had deadly consequences for the victim in this story. So we're going to talk about how it happened and how you can help prevent it from happening to you or someone you care about. Let's get right into it. If you've never heard of a catfish or a sweetheart scam before, they're kind of the same, but I'm going to go over the differences very quickly here. So, a catfish is essentially when someone uses a fake online persona to trick someone else. And in most cases, it's pretty harmless. It can end in heartbreak for some people. There is actually a show on MTV called Catfish, and if you've seen any of those episodes, you'll realize pretty quickly that it can transpire over years of people talking to someone online, never meeting them in person, and come to find out at the end of the catfishing episode that this person is not who they say they are. These people will typically find images of someone else online and they use those in a profile, create a new persona for themselves, and they start communicating with people using someone else's pictures, probably a fake name, maybe a fake location for themselves as well. And a sweetheart scam is when someone befriends someone else online. In most cases, you're going to see these happening online. It's common for the sweethearts to speak on the phone to the person as well, but they try to establish a romantic relationship with the person in hopes of getting money from them. That's essentially what they're after. They don't want to really be with the person. The victim thinks that they are in love with this person or the person loves them, and at the end of it, they're going to ask them for money in some way, shape, or form. They're going to find themselves in hard times, dire straits, and they're going to need money. So that's where that's where the scam part of it comes into play. However, in today's case, what we're going to talk about unfortunately involves a 15-year-old high school sophomore in upstate New York named Riley Basford, and he was kind of the victim of both a catfish and a sweetheart scam rolled into one. Riley Basford was a 15-year-old high school sophomore in upstate New York. Like many kids his age, he was active on social media. At some point, and many details in this case are a little bit foggy still because it's just happened, but at some point he began communicating with someone on Facebook. And that initial communication over time turned into a romantic boyfriend-girlfriend type scenario for Riley and this person that he was communicating with. He never met the person in real life, but they were communicating pretty frequently online. So Riley and this person were essentially in some type of online relationship. And at some point, this person that Riley was speaking with asked Riley for nude or semi-nude photos of himself. And at one point, Riley complied and sent pictures to this person that he was speaking with online. After Riley sends the photos, the person that he sent them to then started to demand that Riley sends them $3,500, or they're going to post those pictures on social media and they're going to send the pictures to Riley's friends and family. They bombarded Riley with threats and demands for this money, and it went on and on for hours, and Riley didn't know what to do. And unfortunately, he chose to take his own life. So this story had a tragic ending, and unfortunately, this is something that happens every single day to thousands of people. There are so many of these fake profiles and people that are pretending to be someone else, and now they've taken it from having the person send the money out of pity or because they care about them. Now they're just going to threatening the people with blackmail. That's what's happening. They are now blackmailing people into sending them money once they get nude or semi-nude photos of them, which unfortunately I bet a lot of people will actually pay the money, and there's no guarantee at that point that the person is going to stop demanding more money. I mean, once they know that you're going to pay a little bit, why not ask you for a little bit or a lot more? So it's extremely important we look at how this first happened. I know that during this COVID era that we're living in right now, that many people have begun to reach out to others online even more than we were before. So I believe it's giving these catfish or these scammers an extra layer of protection or an additional reason to not have to meet you in person. You know, once you start talking to someone after a few weeks or, a month or so, if there's a connection there, you want to meet. And if this person has no intention on ever meeting you, they have to keep the relationship based solely online. They can now use the coronavirus as a reason for not being able to or not wanting to meet in person. So that'll keep that victim, unfortunately, on the hook longer, which will give the catfish the ability to create more of a bond with the person online, because over time, you're going to get closer and closer to someone that is talking to you and saying the right things, and a lot of these things are scripted. This is their job. This is what they do. They are trying to trick people, and they're not just talking to one person. They are talking to dozens of people at the same time, because they're looking at each person as a potential, in Riley's case, $3,500. Maybe if they asked for only $200 or $500, maybe the situation would have been different. Maybe it could have had a different turnout. We'll never know, unfortunately, but I do say to all parents, I'm a parent myself, I'm the father of the 2 young boys, and they are not on social media, but if they were at the age where they were on social media, I would be all over their accounts, and I would be trying to figure out or find out who they're talking to and what is being said. Fortunately, there are a lot of apps that are available for parents who might want to monitor their kids' online activity. On the same or the other side of that, there are many apps that kids can use, and there's many ways that kids can also hide that information from you. So I think it's very important to have open lines of communication between yourself and your kids and grandkids if they are having, interactions online. And also these criminals will try to target their victims in gaming, chat rooms, for example, as well. So, if your kids are on Xbox Live or playing PS5 and they are having communications with other people, they could become friends with someone that might eventually turn into a friendship where numbers are exchanged or social media profiles are exchanged, and then they could find themselves in the same scenario if they decide to send this person something that could be used against them later for blackmail. So, unfortunately, this case had a very tragic ending, and we're talking about it today. So, hopefully, we can help prevent it from happening to someone else, because this could be happening right now to someone that you know or you care about. So, if you see something that's fishy, it's important to ask those questions. The person might be embarrassed. They might not want to talk about it. Sometimes it's hard to say, well, yeah, I'm in a relationship with someone that I've been talking to online for 6 months or a year, and I've never met this person, but I love them. Sometimes that's embarrassing to say, so just be open to hearing it, because it's not uncommon for these things to actually be legitimate. However, we are seeing that the criminals are filtering in here, and the scams that they're pulling off, and they're especially targeting very young people and also elderly people as well. So if you have someone like a grandmother or a grandfather that has some type of communication with someone online they've never met, and actually if they have met them in person, they can still get scammed as well. But just ask those questions. It just takes a couple minutes to say, hey, how's everything going? Were you talking to anyone online? Anything suspicious? Anything you want to tell me or ask me about? Because just having that open line of communication and having someone that will lend an ear to that person, might give them a better perspective, or see it from a different angle and say, yeah, this doesn't seem right, and might save them in the long run. So that is pretty much the Catfish sweetheart variant scam. Unfortunately, in this case, it had a very tragic ending for Riley Basford, and we send our thoughts and prayers to his family and loved ones. If you enjoyed this video or you learned something in this video, please click the like button and subscribe to SignalVault. We're going to start releasing videos a couple times every single week. We're going to talk about scams, we're going to do some technology reviews, and we're also going to talk about some other mysteries that intrigue me, and hopefully they intrigue you. So stick around, it's going to be interesting.